if we build a life purpose that's only about us, then the depth of that purpose will be actually quite shallow because we're doing something on purpose, but it's only being done to serve ourselves. So question one is in hindsight, really quite simple. When have I felt full of purpose? And what can those moments teach me about how to go forward? That's number one. The second question is a little bit different because I refer to it as the humility question. Not all people take this question in the same way, but the question itself is, who do I feel most called to help? Or in some vernaculars, we might say, who do I feel most called to serve? In other words, if we build a life purpose that's only about us, then the depth of that purpose will be actually quite shallow because we're doing something on purpose, but it's only being done to serve ourselves. And while that in and of itself is not terrible, it's so limited. So this second question stretches open the windshield of our mind to say, as I pursue this vision, toward whom am I focused? Am I oriented? For example, some people go through this exercise with me and discover that they really love working with young people. Other people would say that's the last group I want to work with, but some people truly find in their heart that what lights them up is to help people at a very early point in their life and their career so that the impact they have lasts for decade upon on decade. Other people are quite the opposite. I was working with a person yesterday who discovered that what she really loves is working with people at midlife, people who have had a great life and now they're, say, 50 years old or something like that. And they're like, okay, now I've achieved everything I wanted to. What do I do now? Those people, she has this heart to say, let's design the second half of your life in a way that's better than the first half of your life. So, second question is, who do I most want to help? Who do I most want to serve as I fulfill my purpose? Really, really powerful question. Third question is, what gifts do I bring? What gifts do I bring? It's not hard for everybody to acknowledge that not all of us are good at all things. That's a pretty easy. I'm sure.
Oh, that's certain.
Yes. Well, when I was listening to the list of all the things you've done and all of your attributes, I did a little self inventory and I came up quite short, maybe. So you're quite a remarkable person to compare to. But the idea is, what gifts do I bring? So in my case, I have certain gifts, maybe speaking or communicating or some in some ways writing are gifts that I was given. And then there are many other gifts I just totally wasn't given those gifts. So by inventorying what they are, it's sort of like I can lay them all on the table and say, all right, here are the tools I've been given to work with. And if there are some tools that I'm expert at, beautiful. I'm ready to deploy those tools today. There may be other tools that I've been given a raw talent in, but I need to invest time. I need to work to enable that gift to be fully impactful for me as I go out into the world. Either way, though, the third question is, what gifts do I bring to the pursuit of my purpose? Really powerful question. Can take a few days to ponder. And then last of all, mercifully for you and all of your listeners, the fourth question, which I find to be the most powerful, once you've done the first three, is, what impact do I want to have? What impact do I want to have? And I'm always mindful of this wonderful quote, which, Randy, I always seem to get one word wrong in. I have to try to get that right this time. But Steve Jobs had this quote about live your life in such a way that you make a dent in the universe. I think I spoke to you about this the other day. I love this idea. I love the visual of standing back from my life one day and saying, wow, you see that dent? Angie, you see that dent right there? That's me. I did that right there. That's the difference I made. I want that. So I love this fourth question. What impact do I want to have when I'm finished and gone and other people are standing around, perhaps chatting about my life or my impact? What do I want them to be able to say? Was I a great friend? Was I a great teacher? Did I make time for people who needed me? Did I have a compassionate heart? Was I generous and with the resources I had available? I don't know. But I need to be clear about what impact I want to have in order to have that impact instead of four or five others, instead of it being random, it's a very, back to the word you and I love, an intentional process. So those 4 questions, when have I felt purposeful? Who am I here to serve? What gifts do I bring? And what impact do I want to leave? Those 4 questions, when approached very thoughtfully, will yield answers that will give you a transformative recipe for crafting the remaining days of your life in an intentional way.